2025 Fire Commission meeting. If we could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, roll call. We are all here tonight other than Mr. Corneffel, who is out of town. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
Move we accept.
Moved by Bringard to accept. Is there support? Murdoch, questions or comments? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. We need to approve the minutes from January 2025. They are part of your packet. If they're acceptable, we need a motion. If there's any modifications or revisions, please note those for the record. Moved by Bringard to accept. Is there support?
You know what, I don't think I abstained this last one, did I? When was my first meeting? Was it December or January?
January.
First meeting? It's January.
January.
Okay, never mind. That's right.
Sure.
Chief, when are they planning to bring the exhaust system back before the board?
I would suspect in the next couple months. We did some more research on the two different pieces of equipment, and we determined that one of the pieces of equipment was actually not going to remove particulates out of the air, and that was our whole intention. And so we got to do some more research on what is actually the best. You know, because that equipment will last years, and over years, that the cost is very minimal.
Right.
You know.
But it's gonna come back.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right. All right, we have a motion to approve the minutes, and was there support? Support by Duncan. Questions, comments, and if not, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. We have a few discussion items. We'll start with the chief's report. Chief.
All right, Chief's report. As you know, the fire department operates on 2 millages, equipment and operations. For the expenses of January 25, we are within the confines of the 2 millage expenditures. The fire department does a very good job of ensuring that the sources and the funds that run the fire department don't go outside of the 2 millages enacted by the voters of Grosseto. As to fire and medical calls, to date we've had 80 EMS calls, 20 fire calls. I can tell you the fire department is extremely busy. This is not a, let's say, inactive fire department. We had 11 calls on one weekend, last weekend. All were transports, all were individual calls. Those calls were coming in all hours of the day. I think on Saturday, my pager did not stop, you know, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. Just last night, night before, they had 3 calls in the middle of the night. So it's a very active fire department. It requires a lot of commitment from the firefighters, EMTs, and I commend them all the time, without a doubt. They're very active. And as you know, we're an island. We can't rely on mutual aid to come and bail us out all the time. Matter of fact, it's very rare. There are protocols that require us to, but again, I commend all those fire departments off island who are always ready to aid us.
Any questions from the commission with regards to the fire and medical runs? All right, Chief. Number 2, volunteer hiring.
We are going to have another hiring event, February 15th, this Saturday, noon to 3. I will be there. It's an opportunity for anybody who's interested to come, get orientated with the fire department, ask me any questions they wish. I will explain to them what their obligations and duties are and try to make them feel welcome and make them feel that, you know, this is a family environment where we all appreciate working with each other. And it's been very successful, very successful. As you know, the fire department has doubled its size in just 2 years. It was necessary. It will always be necessary to recruit. Thank you, Kurt. So that will be this Saturday, noon to 3. Update on the new KME aerial. It was ordered in May 24. I talked to the sales department today. We're expecting an October fall delivery for the new aerial. It's a very, very sophisticated piece of equipment. You know, these things usually take 2.5 to 3 years, maybe even longer, from date of delivery, or date of order to date of delivery. Of course, at that time, we'll have to sell our aerial that we have. That will require some attention. Duncan has gone through this many times, and I expect that he will have his knowledge to convey to us when the time is right.
Yeah, we want to make sure that we can get as much money as we possibly can for it. Obviously, you've kept the equipment, both of you kept it in good shape, and someone will get the benefit of it when we resell it on the secondary or tertiary market, so.
Oh, yeah. No, that piece of equipment, Duncan, was ordered in 97.
Yep.
It's 27, 28 years old.
It's part of the schedule to be replaced.
Yeah.
Part of the schedule.
And that's important. We have a capital replacement plan. We follow the plan. We prepare for these items, as you all know. These are very large expenditures, and we had the money saved in our account, put aside money every year to pay for these capital replacement items, and never had to ask the taxpayer for one dime. So the fire department is very pre-planned. Everything we do is pre-planned.
You said the arrival will be when, roughly?
We're expecting a fall 2025 arrival.
And obviously, when we get it, we'll treat it like a new child, so we'll show it off to the public. We'll place it in places where people can see it, look at it, touch it. Yep.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Did KME give you a kind of an idea on the 97, what it might be worth, wholesale, retail?
I believe 350,000.
That's what it's going to be worth.
That's what we're going to ask for.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You
you
know.
got to remember, that truck has been completely retro.
absolutely.
Everything on that truck was replaced.
Yeah.
So,
You know, it was out for repairs just 2 months ago. We had to replace the hydraulic cylinder for the actual ladder.
yeah,
So, look, in 2 years, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, it had to go out for major suspension work. So, even though it looks brand new, look, there are things that go wrong because of its age. It's costing money, and it's a safety issue too. The suspension work that we had to have done 2.5 years ago was major suspension work. If it failed, it would just sit in the road wherever it would have failed at. I mean, you know, so this is not light duty items that we're replacing and fixing.
Well, and the ladder we're getting is a longer, larger ladder, right?
That's right.
Right.
It's going to have more capabilities to, let's say, respond to the larger homes that we have. The construction that these homes are built with are more resins, more, you know, man-made particle board that goes up, you know, you have a much quicker, let's say, or much faster potential for a fire of getting out of control because of the resins and the synthetics in this product. So we need this piece of equipment to respond more appropriately to all sorts of, let's say, matters or issues in current construction. I mean, some of the homes on Girls Hill, compared to 1997, are double, triple in size. You know, this ladder will give us more reach. When you consider the collapse zone, you know, that you gotta be away from the building, you know. These homes are bigger, the collapse zone increases, and so you need more reach, you know. So I'm very glad to have this new piece of equipment in our, if I can call it, arsenal. Same thing with the new Braun ambulance, that's number 4. That piece of equipment was ordered in October of 23. I reached out to the sales department 2-3 weeks ago. The expected arrival for that piece of equipment is August or September of 25. Again, same thing. We had the funds set aside over time. Over time, the fire department looks at its capital replacement plan, and we allocate funds year after year to prepare for the replacement. Not a dollar had to be asked, or I should say a dime from the taxpayer. We went into our savings account. We will have the money to pay for the new Braun ambulance. Complies with our capital replacement plan. Every so many years, we have to replace this equipment. So I commend the fire department for being very managerial with its funds, being very, let's say, mature with the capital replacement plan and sticking to it. You know, as Duncan knows and you all know, if you avoid your capital replacement schedule, if you turn your eye to it, all of a sudden you need to replace too much at one time because you've put things off. You may not have the funds, so stick to your replacement plan.
Where do you even take those trucks in when they break down? I mean, you can't just take those to the local mechanic.
Well, you're right. We typically can't take them. So
I mean, is
we
it a
have-
longer repair?
Well, we have
from
we have the mechanic, the diesel mechanics, whatever it might be. They come to the fire department. Now,
Do
if
they?
there's suspension issues, yeah, we got to take it off site, and we use various vendors who can accommodate us right now because we can't, keep this
Can't wait,
equipment off the
right?
island. If by chance an aerial has to be replaced or a pumper, we will reach out to our mutual aid partners and inform them, hey, we don't have an aerial right now. We might call you if we need an aerial. So
That's
that
good.
partnership works in conjunction with the repair and maintenance of these vehicles. Okay, I should say this apparatus. So it's all about communication, preparing to repair these pieces of equipment, and again, everything's pre-planned. So the department works on a pre-plan. Number 5. Once again, the Groesville Fire Department is participating with Groesville High School. We are participating in a work-based learning internship program. We have 3 high school students that come to the fire department every day for about an hour and a half. And the whole intention of the work-based learning program is to bridge the gap between the classroom and the real work environment. These young people can get all sorts of book-based knowledge of what a workplace is like, but that doesn't give them the real work environment hands-on. Matter of fact, this week Bob had him in Mustang suits tethered to the shore in a ice water rescue environment. Of course, yes, we get the parents to give us a release. 2 of them are 18. So that, the gap between the real work-based and the classroom, I think gives them another level of maturity, another sense of, expectations when you leave high school, and awareness that, you do have to increase, let's say, your attention to detail when you go out in the workplace. So this is the second time we've participated in this, and I'm very glad and proud of that learning internship program.
It wouldn't be bad if we could have them, maybe at the end of their time here, to visit with us and kind of give us their thoughts.
Yes.
Maybe in the spring.
Yes. Actually, the prior group of interns, one of them is actually a cadet at a fire department. So from what he learned with us, he took it to the next step and went through the academy, right, Bob?
That's correct.
And he is a cadet, I believe, in Dearborn? Dearborn. So, yeah, we make him feel bad that he has to remember us and come and work at the Groesville Fire Department. And we remind him quite often, don't we? So I expect him to come back and pay back and become a volunteer. The whole point of it is to provide the students with something that the fire department can give back to its community. Number 6, generator replacement plan at the DPS building. The motor is a Ford small block V8, 33 years old, 1992. The generator is a 1991 Kohler, 80 kilowatt generator. Runs on natural gas. And I've asked Bob to give a presentation of the replacement. And so, Bob, can you provide the commission with some thoughts on the replacement?
And just so that everybody's aware, we're not talking DPS, we're talking about Department of Public Safety.
Yeah, did I say DPS?
No, that's correct.
Okay.
I mean, it's the same
Yeah.
acronym, but this is for the building on Meridian.
Yeah.
That
Correct,
houses
this is
both
for the-
police and fire.
Public safety building, yep. Yeah, so the motor's in 1992, the generator side of it's from 1991. It's an 80 kilowatt generator. We have had it maintained and tested. There's been stress tests done on it annually, so it's not about a matter of maintenance or anything like that. It's just its age. And this is, we're not asking for approval or recommendation tonight. I'm just telling you what the police have been working on. I don't know if everybody knows that the police and fire split everything that's building related at the public safety building. We split it down the middle. So this is just our portion of explaining what the half we're going to be spending. Obviously, over the last 10, 20 years, we've put a lot of money. The previous chiefs have put a lot of money invested into redundancies within the fire department. We have multiple siren systems now. We have multiple ways of notifying our members of a call. We have we're CAD connected with police dispatch now, so we get information on our phones when we're not at the station. I mean, everything obviously runs on electricity. We need heat in the building. If it was a winter power outage, we have water in our trucks that need heat. We have a constant air supply to the trucks to keep air in their systems. It's just, the list goes on and on of what would happen, the things we'd lose without electricity. And the bigger problem is that if we did lose electricity and didn't have a backup generator, or our generator didn't start, we were told it would take almost a week to get a portable generator in there to run that building. So what would we do for a week? To run our radios, to charge our trucks, to keep air in the system, to keep the heat in the building going. We have sprinkler systems that need to be heated. So again, I think everybody understands that a 33-year-old generator is not reliable. If it didn't start tomorrow, we shouldn't be surprised. Again, I'll let Chief talk to the budgetary side of things, but it's within our budget, as far as I know. So, again, the police are working on this. They're handling most of it, and as soon as they get a quote from Charles Rains, they're going to give us a quote for running the program. And then when that's approved, they're going to put it out for RFP and handle that process.
Thanks. Chief?
Questions?
Oh, sorry. That's my fault.
Any questions from the commission of Bob?
I have a couple.
Chief?
Sizing up the generator?
So the one we have now is a 80 kilowatt. Obviously, we've added a lot of things in 30 years to the building. We got 2 new HVAC systems on the roof. Again, the redundant siren system, all that stuff takes extra electricity. So that'll all be in the quote process. It might have to be bumped up to, I think the options are 100 kilowatt, but again, that'll be in the quote process.
And then the only other question I have is the building is split into 2 systems, emergency systems and then general operations systems. I'd be curious on the part of Rains if he could look into the possibility of putting the entire building, plugs, switches, everything that's in that building on power. And then you don't have to worry about the emergency, what you're plugging into or not plugging into, so.
So I know the police are going to have involved with the quote, they're going to have a backup power cord, a transfer switch. So even if the backup generator fails, they can plug in a portable generator and run 911 and their dispatch room. I'm going to talk to Chief about that. I think it's a good idea that we have on the FD side, so we can discuss that as well,
That makes sense.
what we want hooked up to it.
I would just like to see every plug in that building on power.
Well, if we're going to make changes, now's the time to do it while we're doing this.
Exactly.
Yep, and just have it in with the quote, so.
Nikki, you have questions?
Is this on the capital replacement plan?
It is.
Okay. Will you give me a copy of the capital replacement plan?
Absolutely. The life
you.
expectancy on our capital replacement plan is 25 years. We are at 33 years. We've been doing a lot of, let's say, work at the fire department. I mean, Bob has mentioned it. Dual siren systems, new doors, new pieces of equipment. I mean, the list goes on what has been occurring at the DPS building on the fire department side for sure. But it's maintained by Michigan Generator. We have it inspected very frequently. We run it every week to ensure that it's operable. But it is definitely past its life expectancy. You know, just the basics. We get a call if that generator is down. You can't even operate the overhead doors to get the apparatus out of the bay. Surely you can manhandle them or woman handle them, whatever you want to call it, and push them up. But that's a very difficult job. You can't do that. That's essential. But Bob mentioned some of the things that are overlooked. You know, no siren system, no doors, no air compression, nothing. So it's essential. And Bob mentioned it would take us a week to get a generator, and the cost is $900 a day to have a portable generator. You know, that just doesn't. It's not. Let's say, to me, it's a breach of my fiduciary duty to the public to have such an old piece of equipment at the Department of Public Safety building. So, yes, we have the funds. It'd be a 50-50 split with the police department.
Any other questions of Bob or the chief?
Just a history lesson is the capital reserve plan that's in place right now actually got pushed back. Because if you remember 2009 hit, and then we had all those financial issues, you know, publicly, it pushed everything back on replacement. So when you're here in 33 years, and it's 8 years past due, there's that 9-year window where everything really got slowed on expenditures.
And you can't just catch up because then you'd have all those expenses at the same time. With this, Chief Carmack presented it to the board. I mean, I think it's a no-brainer, right? And you have the budget for it, you plan for it, you have the funds. I would imagine it goes right through at the board level.
It will.
Absolutely.
It will. Anything else for the chief, fire marshal? All right, so clearly that has turned, there's an action item that's part of our agenda. We are coming in, obviously the police are already in the process of using reins. We are just basically providing the support as well.
Correct. It's a
All right.
joint project.
All right, so if you move on to the agenda, we have an action item, Fire Commission recommendation of the Township Board to hire or retain CE Rains for project engineer, project design and construction, to manager services intended for joint project that we just talked about between the Grosse Ile Fire Department and the Grosse Ile Police Department. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Murdoch. Is there support?
Second.
Bartlett, questions or comments? If not, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carried. All right, moving on to our agenda. It says commission member reports. I don't know if we have reports. Is there anything from the commissioners that they would like to raise tonight? If not, moving on to public comment. We often don't have anybody in our audience, so we have multiple people in our audience. So more than happy to come to the podium. If you want to come to the podium, you don't have to. But if you do, just please state your name and your address. You guys good? Yeah? All right. With that in mind, there's no further public comment. We need a motion to
Hold on,
adjourn.
Kirk.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, you can just step to the podium and then just state your name and address where you live.
Julian John, 8800 Middleton Court. So obviously a Grosse Ile resident and a small business owner. My wife and I own Stepping Stones of Grosse Ile on Grays Drive. I'm here to support Mr. Gonzalez, his application for fire chief. So I've known Jake personally and professionally since we moved here to the island 2 years ago. First personally, as a father, his children attend our programs. But before that, I knew him professionally. Even before we opened our business, Jake helped provide first aid and CPR training for all our staff. And he's continued that to keep all of our staff up to date with their requirements to be child care providers. Also want to tell a quick story. Some of you probably already know. last October, we had some incidents at our school. The fire alarms went off, all the children were evacuated, the fire department was called. This happened 2 or 3 times over the course of 2 days. My wife and I, unfortunately, were out of town at a conference, so we were panicked, obviously. We didn't know what to do, so we called Jake. He assured us, one, professionally, the fire situation, or not a fire situation, was being taken care of, but also assured us that our staff handled everything professionally. Everything was taken care of. My wife and I did not have to drop everything and rush right back. So again, just here to pledge my support for Mr. Gonzalez. I think he would be a great asset to the community.
Comments?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? If not, a motion to adjourn would be in order. Moved by Bringard, support. Murdoch, questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carried. Thanks, and have a good night. Be safe.